negates the gift, because the truth is, as a mother, your child is a reflection or becomes a reflection of who you are. Y'all understand what I'm saying? As a mother, if your child is getting a phone call from school, the mother most often then says, not necessarily, that bad boy. She says to herself, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? And then when a single mother is attempting to raise a son, it is elevated, heightened, even exacerbated. Why? Because in her mind, she's already feeling she's at a deficit. How in the world can I give this boy what he needs when I don't know what he needs? So guess what I do? I put him in counseling with a male counselor. I take him to football so he can be with some boys and a coach. And I try to give him male bonding and companionship. But he's still messing up. Lord, what else am I to do? I began to understand as I began to communicate to them about this Mother's Day experience, that the life of a mother is a difficult road. It's tough to be a good mom. Amen?
Amen.
It's tough to be a good mom, right? Well, I began to think about it, and I appreciate the message, the lesson we had today about the one who was healed but saw his healing before the ceremony took place. The one who recognized who the real healer was and said, I've got to come back and give thanks to the one who actually did the job, who actually did the work. I must cling to the one who means this much to me, right? If you turn, you look at Ruth, the first chapter, right? I want to read just a little bit of Ruth, the first chapter, right? I will actually want to read the whole thing, but I'm going to just start at verse 1 and we're going to skip, okay? In verse 1, Ruth, the first chapter, verse 1, it says, now it came to pass in the days, now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to dwell in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. The name of the man was Elimelech. The name of the wife was Naomi. And the names of the 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they went to the country of Moab and remained there. Then Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died. First strike. And she was left and her 2 sons. Now they took wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelt there about 10 years. They removed from Jerusalem for about 10 years. Right? A whole lot of stuff can happen in 10 years. Right? Verse 5. Then both Mahlon and Chilion also died. So the woman survived her 2 sons and her husband. Good God from Zion. Y'all think this mother went through a little bit of something?
A lot.
Right? She lost her husband. Then she lost her 2 sons. And at this time in human history, women didn't necessarily own a whole lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, it was the men who would... Ruth chapter 1. Right? It was the men who were the ones who had legal right to sign and to own and to do business transactions. It was the men who had those opportunities, right? Now check this out. Remember, 10 years ago they left Jerusalem to come out of a famine. But the famine didn't just hit Jerusalem, it hit all the land. So guess what they left behind? Everything. Guess what they had? Nothing. And during these 10 years, they've been scraping and trying, scratching and surviving. Good time. Right? They've been trying to make it, right? They've been trying to make it. Her husband dies, her 2 sons dies. She says in verse 6, then she arose with her daughter-in-laws that she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab that the Lord had visited. Wow. She heard. We just talked about hearing where God is. But sometimes we can hear where God is and choose to stay put. What experiences in our life have to get so drastic that we hear God moving and realize we need to move where he's moving? How often do we stay put in a single solitary position where nothing's going on? No wrangling, no ruffling, no wrestling of the waters. Nothing's going on. But we stay there. We get comfortable in it. How often do we refuse because of discomfort, or we don't want to change, or we don't want to grow, right? We just stay there, rotting, never changing, rotting, when God is moving somewhere else. Isn't that what's happening in our society today? We got a whole lot of people listening to voices, and their numbers are growing astronomically. But God ain't moving. Are we listening for where God's moving? Naomi hears God is moving back home. So guess what she do? She get up and go. Right? Verse 7. Therefore she went out from the place where she was, and her 2 daughter-in-laws with her. And they went on their way to return to the land of Judah. They going back home. And Naomi said to her 2 daughter-in-laws, go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. Right? Naomi's sending them back home. Go back to Moab. Right? Because guess what? I am too old to have any more sons who are going to give you children. That's what she goes on to say. If I even had a husband and got pregnant now, you're going to wait for them to grow up so that you can have children? Because that's the ceremonial law, right? That's the law, right? You would have a child for your brother, right? But Naomi says, no, go to your home. Go back to your homes in Moab. Now, we know the story. Both of them say, no, we're not going. We're going to stay with you. She says, no, go back. Orpah says, bet, I'm gone. But Naomi has one. Her name is Ruth, who says, nah, I'm not going. Where you die, I'm going to die. Right? Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Ain't it good to have somebody who will stick closer than a brother? Ain't it good to have somebody who will stick by you even when you're going through hardships? See, I know it's some mothers who have gone through some stuff. I know it's some mothers who have lost a whole lot of things, right? But I just believe that God has a ram in the bush. Somebody who will stick with you and stick by you. Someone who will never give up on you. Someone who will never forget what you've done for them and the blessing that you've been. Mama, don't give up. Just know that God knows where you are, right? But guess what? It still doesn't mean that Naomi doesn't know or experience her hardship or have some questions about herself based upon the life that she's lived, right? Guess what the text says? I'm glad y'all asked. Guess what the text said, right? The text says, if you go down to verse 18, right? The text says, when she saw that she was determined. This is Ruth. Ruth is determined. She's not going back She's not going back to Moab. She's going to stay, right? When she saw that she was determined to go with her, she stopped speaking to her. I'm going to preach that one day. I'm going to preach that one day. Sometimes you got to be determined. Amen? You got to be determined, right? Because your determination will thwart somebody's contestation, right? They can contest you all day long. But if you're determined to go, if you're determined to stay, if you're committed to what you promised, guess what? It doesn't matter what somebody else says. And if you keep walking toward your determination, they will be quiet. Amen? But the text says in verse 19, now the two of them went until they came to Bethlehem. And it happened when they had come to Bethlehem that all the city was excited because of them. And the woman said, is this Naomi? Good God from Zion. Naomi home. Naomi home. Everybody happy to see Naomi home. Naomi's home. Right? And they said, is this Naomi? We ain't seen her in over 10 years. Is this Naomi? Look at her. She looks different. Is this Naomi? Is this beautiful? Naomi means beautiful. Y'all think after these 10 years, that same beauty still rested on her? 10 years ago. Y'all think that after her life experiences, during those 10 years, she still feels beautiful? Right? I know there's some mothers who have gone through some things. And the experiences of life allow you to look back on your early beginnings and say, where has she gone? Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about? What happened to her? How did I end up this way? But the people still say, is this beautiful? Because that's what they remember her as. Amen? But it doesn't matter how people see you. What matters is how you see yourself. Check out